Yes.
I just saw that. Welcome to Wholehearted Living,
with
folks.
Valerie.
And Benny.
We are the sibling duo. I don't know why I did that. Quotes. That one of us comes in with a subject and the other one doesn't know what it is, and then we chat about it.
That's it.
That's right.
And it has to do with wholehearted living.
It does.
Not just any subject.
AKA living your best life.
AKA.
That is also known as.
Said with a tone. Wow.
Doesn't that sound like Michael Scott, kind of?
Not at all.
Oh, never mind.
I didn't get that. You know what's really funny is, we had a friend named Michael Scott.
We did. You did.
I know. Why are you pointing at him? I was the one that was talking.
I thought Michael.
Yeah. His name was Michael Scott, and I totally forgot about it. He used to bike. He used to ride bikes and all that stuff.
At BMX.
John Scott was his brother.
Yeah.
And but anyway, the reason why I bring that up is because for some reason I brought him up, and Trinity goes, "Michael Scott."
Oh, how
and
funny.
At the time I was like, I never even put together that that's the same person.
Funny.
They're not the same person, but you get what I'm saying.
Got it.
All right, you want to hear something?
Sure.
Something we're gonna do that's gonna change our house.
Well, it can't be too much.
No, it's radical.
Okay, tell me.
3rd floor.
No.
Just kidding.
Cool.
That's cool. Yeah, that's all we're going to say about that. Patty wanted some storage area because you want storage. Yeah, that's why.
Yeah.
And so the long and the short of it is what we decided to do is I'm going to build a bench for like a dining room, our dining room.
Oh, like we used to have it
yes.
at Mom's house.
What
like
are those called?
Like a nook.
A nook. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
And so it's going to be a little nook. Oh, Patty's going to say something.
It was all my idea.
Yeah. It was all
great.
Patty's idea. So everybody who's journaling
And so
this,
is it going to go on both walls or just the one wall?
it's going to go on both walls. It'll be not very long on the short wall, about 4 feet out or so. And then the other one, it'll be 8 feet.
Okay, wow.
So, it'll just be the whole thing is the point.
And then you'll get rid of all the chairs?
Those back chairs, well, we won't get rid of them, but we'll put them elsewhere in the house.
You'll put them in the storage?
But we are, because that way we'll have more chairs. But the idea was twofold: storage. And then what I like about the idea is that, we really don't have a big house, but we have people over a lot. And so what we're thinking is, we used to put whenever we have a lot of people, we always put the table against the wall over there. Well, now we'll bring the table out here to the middle. And then now there's a bunch of seating for people that is over there, seating over here. And then we'll have the chairs around and stuff. So hopefully it'll make it so that it's a little bit, if we're watching a game, that's not very helpful. Although I did decide I'll probably bring a TV down and put it right there.
Oh my goodness.
I know. But it would be fun to have it so that people could sit there and watch it. So if the Chiefs play, so my goal is to have it at least done enough that people are going to be here for Super Bowl.
Oh, wow.
So Patty, they could come for Super Bowl even they don't care about football, right?
We came last year.
They were here last year. So Stephanie's coming. Stephanie's family is coming already. We invited them because they were football people. I didn't even think about you guys because you don't care about football.
You invited us last year. Why wouldn't you invite us this year?
No, I don't know. I just wasn't thinking about it. That's why I said it. So if it was a hockey thing, then we would have invited you. Of course, you guys would have said, no, we're having people over our house. But anyway, but we're just thinking we would like the room and it would just be, we like the storage room, and then I like it for storage and because of the fact that it does give us more seating all of a sudden.
Yeah,
so,
that's very cool. I like those seats. I do.
Yeah.
I think they're cool.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a good thing. So we're going to build it this weekend, we hope.
Nice.
Yeah.
Is that what Iggy's doing with you this weekend?
Yeah, Iggy's going to supervise.
Nice.
Iggy likes this stuff, but you're not really big into that kind of stuff, are you?
Not really.
Yeah.
Like construction stuff?
Yeah, construction stuff. Look at, he barely likes to even say the word.
Yeah, he's like, do I have to say it? Construction stuff?
I wasn't sure if it would be construction stuff, so I didn't want to say the wrong thing.
No. Yeah, no. It's funny because I always ask Andy to come over if it's like I'm fixing something, and he actually gets like all excited about it. And then but it's funny because one time Patty goes, well, you can ask Iggy. I go, He doesn't do that stuff.
Yeah. He might bring over the microphone.
It's not that I don't want to invite him, but I think he would be like, okay, well, I'll look at my phone while you guys are doing
That's funny.
So it's not his thing. So anyway.
Very cool.
Do you have a wonderful anecdote or story? You get so fussy when I use that word that you want to share.
Fussy. Oh, you know what though? Okay, so today I had to. I don't know if I didn't say this last week, but I sprained, twisted my ankle. I fell at work yesterday.
Why do you keep using air quotes?
Because I don't know if I sprained it or if I just twisted. I don't know what I did, but I know that I hurt it very badly. I fell off a step at work yesterday, and
you're a dork.
Yeah, and it hurt so badly last night. Like anytime I put pressure or whenever I stood up and the blood just rushed and it was pulsing. So I didn't know, am I going to be able to go into work today? Because I did not know how I was going to wake up this morning.
Do you get workman's comp?
I would if I filed for it.
Why didn't you?
Well, why would I? Because I'm not even that hurt. I don't abuse the system. I did have to file a report just in case something goes wrong with it. But I mean, I'm fine. I'm limping. But anyway, all that to say, I knew I had to go into work even if I was really, really hurt because I was covering a class and we were short on people and I had to cover a teacher's room, which is where my student is in. So
wait a minute. If you get your foot amputated, you might be able to never work again. You won't have a foot though.
Yeah. They probably say just wear crutches or something.
Wear them? Sorry.
But anyway, so I thankfully woke up and it wasn't as bad as last night. So I'm like, oh, this is cool. It's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. So anyway, I did go into work, gimping along. And the funniest thing is the student I work with, I knew I had to take the kids in. So they're all lined up. I'm like, okay, everybody get your folders out, put them where they belong, go sit in your seat. My little student walks up to me and goes, potty? I'm like, are you kidding?
I don't know why this is a problem.
And he goes, because I take him. I can't leave the whole class now. I'm the teacher at this point. And so then I go, are you kidding? And I'm looking at him and I think what he thought I was meaning was put it in a full sentence. Because when he says one word, I'm always say, can you say it in a full sentence? So I go, are you kidding? He goes, can I go potty? I go, do you really have to go? I keep almost saying his name. I don't want to say his name. And he goes, potty? And I'm like, oh my gosh, he must have to go. So then I ask one of the other little students, do you mind taking him to the bathroom? And he's like, okay. And I go, but you have to take him to the office. And he's like, oh, do you know where the nurse's office is? And he's looking at me like, why wouldn't I just take him to the boys' bathroom? And I go, you have to take him to the nurse's office. And so then he does for me. I run back in the classroom. I call the nurse's office. So-and-so's bringing up so-and-so. You know the drill. Make sure so-and-so doesn't leave him there. He has to walk him back. Okay, we got you. Because they know the drill. I'm always in there with them. So he comes back. They're fine. I'm already running the class. And so I said, thank you so much for taking him to the bathroom. He goes, can I just ask why he doesn't go in the boys' bathroom? And I'm like, well,
so-and-so.
I go, well, you see how long it took you? My little guy is so cute. I have to knock on the door and say, are you done? Yes. I go, are you sure? And then I kind of just peek because he could be or not be. He doesn't answer properly all the time. And he's standing in front of the mirror, completely naked, just looking at himself, making faces. So all that to say, I'm like, he's not ready for the boys' bathroom because I can't go in there with him. And I don't know if he's going to do that. And I don't want him to do that and, and have other boys around making fun of him or, you know what I mean? The whole thing.
Yeah.
But it was actually just very funny because I'm like.
I remember when Peter and I were growing up, there was a kid that used to pull his pants down to go pee. I'm not going to say his name. But it was weird.
Wait, what? I don't.
When I was, it was Peter. I didn't mean to tell anybody. No, I went into the boys' bathroom at Lincoln Elementary, and whenever I had to go pee with this kid, he pulled his pants all the way down to the thing, and then he'd pee in the urinal.
Oh, you don't have to pull your pants all the way down. That's what you're saying. Okay, yeah.
You've seen Peter pee before, haven't you? He's like, wait. She's like, wait a minute. Peter does that.
Well, at first I was like, wait, I don't understand the point. Okay, I get you. I got you. Yeah, see, that's why my student goes elsewhere. And to take it up, just to last year he did not, I basically potty trained him. So that is one reason we started there. And that's why we're continuing to go there. But there was a couple times that I tried to take him to the boys' bathroom and I said, just try to go in here. You're a big boy now, blah, blah, blah. And, as soon as he heard the toilet flush, he freaked out, you know, and he does have autism. So I know, but yeah, so that was the start of my day. Like, how am I going to do this? Yeah. How do I?
Well, why did you get a class where you are an individual teacher, but you're also, isn't that bizarre? Because he might have had other experiences. What do you do?
That's the only problem when I cover the class that he's in. Because we do, when there's IEPs, we do cover other teachers' classes. But when he's there, I'm not his one-on-one anymore. I'm running the class. So at that point, it's kind of like, you're on your own, kid. I hope you're following along, but I know you're not because I see him doing Play-Doh instead of the worksheet. Can't deal with that right now. I got to run the other 28 kids. But in situations like that, if he has to go to the bathroom, I don't know. If he had to go in the middle of the class, I probably would have called somebody from the learning center and said, can somebody come and grab him and take him up? Yeah. But yeah. Anyway, that was
we really got.
So there we go. There's my story.
That's amazing.
My anecdote.
I want to still know about your leg though. So why didn't you get one of those little boot things?
I have a boot from when I sprained my other leg, but why? I don't know why. Because did I need it?
It's very minimal.
Yeah.
Okay.
In fact, even
so
when
why are you complaining?
I think actually what I did was I actually bruised it more than anything because it does hurt when you twist it a certain way. But when I was in the shower this morning, because I took the brace off that I do have an elastic brace thing on it. I was looking at my ankles.
Yeah, but you can't see it because you're. Oh no, that is
you
it.
Can see
I
it.
thought that was a sock.
No,
okay.
But I was like, oh, it's not really quite as swollen as it was last night. My toes were swollen. Everything was kind of swollen. This was very, very, very slightly swollen, but black and blue. So,
well, black and blue isn't a bruise. That could be twisted.
Okay. Well, I don't necessarily mean I hit it. That's why it bruised. I mean, it wasn't.
You don't know what's going on.
Oh my gosh, I don't know. This is such a long topic.
Yeah. Well, we're going to end our time.
Thank you.
Okay. Well, you ready for what we're going to talk about for Wholehearted Living?
I am.
So, I don't know how to begin this because I just only put one word as my title. What I wanted to talk about, because I briefly talked about this in our last session. No, I didn't. When did we record last?
3 weeks ago.
Had I already gone on my trip?
Nope.
Oh my gosh, I haven't talked on my trip.
That's why we didn't record, because you were on a trip, and then Iggy had his brother in town.
He doesn't care about us. Just kidding. Okay, so this is what I wanted to talk about. I wanted to ask you a very important question. You always hate when I ask you a question. This is an easy one, actually.
Good. When is your birthday?
No. I want to know what your thoughts are on the benefits of taking vacation.
Do you really want to know my
She's so excited.
Do you want to know my real thoughts?
Uh-oh, here they come, folks.
I don't really care if I go on vacation.
Oh my gosh, this is a perfect thing. Well, you say that. You get 3 months off in the summer.
Oh, you mean just taking a break from work?
What do you think vacation is?
I thought you meant like going away somewhere.
No.
Okay. So a vacation from work, taking a vacation day or a break in work.
Well,
because if you're going to say that, then the benefits of that are huge, because then I have time to decompress and regroup before I go back in.
So this is interesting because I wasn't anticipating us going this place.
Oh.
But I do think it's interesting that you don't tell me more about the fact that you don't care about vacation.
Okay, stop jiggling your foot. It's okay. I have never, ever, ever had the urge to travel. The only times that we have ever traveled, or I have ever traveled, is for a purpose. Went to your wedding. Went to.
I was like, where did we get married?
No, I'm just saying, like, I would have never thought to go somewhere. But went to another wedding in Hawaii, and then we did like it, so we said, oh, let's bring the kids back. But if Kylie hadn't gotten a job in Tokyo, I would have never gone to Tokyo. If she had never taken a cruise or, got a job as on the cruise, I would have never gone on a cruise. Yeah.
Julie McCoy?
But I'm just saying, like, there always has been a situation where I've traveled. I have never sat down and said, ooh, let's figure this out and go travel. I'm a homebody. I really don't. I liked when I went. Don't get me wrong.
No. I'm my thought is, well, let me ask you, when you went, then what benefits did you get out of it? That you would say that weren't related to Kylie per se.
No. The benefits. I loved Tokyo. I loved experiencing that way of life, if you will. I loved Hawaii. I loved the parts about Hawaii that were different from here. So every place I've been, I've enjoyed experiencing that place. So the benefits, I guess, is just experiencing where other people live. It's really interesting that you're asking that, because there was so many like places that people wanted to go, when we were in, like, oh, let's go to the Sistine Chapel. Let's go,
Oh, right.
That stuff was cool. But I liked going to the cafe and watching people. I liked when I went with Kylie to Tokyo, it's like, I don't care if I see these places that you see on a postcard. Take me through your daily life. I want to go where you go get coffee. I want to go, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what I like most about traveling.
Yeah. Well, and so it's interesting to me that when I said, what are the benefits of going on vacation, you immediately related that to traveling.
Well, you said go on vacation. If you had, and I'm not trying to be like semantical, but if you had said, what is the difference? I mean, what would you like when you take a vacation day, or, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
When you said go on vacation, I thought you meant go somewhere.
Yeah. Well, I guess what I'm saying is,
semantical?
What are the benefits?
Is that a word?
No, it isn't.
Semantics.
That's why when you said it, I did a office look to the camera. Like semantics.
As soon as I rethought it, I'm like, wait, semantical?
It's okay though. But the thing is that what I was really talking about is the fact that what are the benefits of a vacation? Mm-hmm. Like so maybe I could have worded it differently. And if I say that, what would you say?
Well, relating to having 2.5 months off of work, especially with the job I do, I feel like you have that time to regroup and reset and,
Oh, right. So I think that there is something to be said though about getting out of your routine. And so the routine being the fact that like in your case, it's not just not working, because see, then that means too, for like a stay-at-home mom, that means that they really never they never have a vacation. Mm-hmm. If they go on vacation with their kids, then do they really ever go like have a vacation? Because it's different. Mm-hmm. So I guess what I decided to talk about this because of the fact that Patty and I just got back from Belize a couple weeks ago, I guess now. And it was one of the first times. Now, we do travel a lot, and we love to travel. We're constantly thinking about what's the next place we're going to go to. And so we were there for a week, and it was one of the very first times that I will say when we go, we don't typically have a major agenda of like, oh, we got to do this, we got to do this, we got to do this, we got to do this. Now, I do like to see some of the big places, like when we went to Paris. I wanted to see the Louvre. I wanted to see
Eiffel Tower.
Tower. I wanted to see the Arc de Triomphe, and which is a funny story. And then I wanted to see. There's certain things you want to see, right? Mm-hmm. But the thing I loved the most was just like you said, walking through the town, going to the cafes, going to just walking through whatever park. Not that it was a particular park, I couldn't tell you, but doing certain things, and then remembering certain movies. There's a scene in what's that movie with Nicolas Cage where he's trying to find something? National Treasure, where they find a mini version of the Statue of Liberty, and I was like, oh, I got to find where that was at, and so we look for that, because stuff like that. Anyway, so there's things like that I want to see, and then when we've gone to other places in the world, when we went to Belize, we didn't start really making plans until a few weeks beforehand. Like that's when we booked our Airbnbs. That's when we booked stuff. And we really didn't know anything about it. All we knew is that our tickets, they were cheaper to get there. It was a country we hadn't been to, which we like going to new places. And it was supposedly cheap to be there, which it was cheaper than here. I wouldn't call it cheap though. And the thing is that we were there, we were on the beach for several days. Or I shouldn't say the beach. I guess it's called a key. Do you know what the difference between a key and an island is?
Isn't it? I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I didn't know either. I had no idea.
Is it the Keys? Like the
Florida Keys? Like you talk about the Florida Keys, but why are they called the Keys versus the Florida Islands?
Yeah,
and
why?
What someone told us is keys are made up of like coral formations, kind of a thing, even though they could be the size of an island, versus volcanic like stuff like Hawaii.
Yeah.
And so I thought that was interesting. But so we stayed on this key. Now someone out there might correct us because maybe I'm wrong, but because I didn't really research it. That's just what we were told. But anyway, the thing is that it's one of the very first times we went to the beach, this beach area, and on this key where literally Patty and I got on a bike. And we could ride the entire thing on the bike, going slowly and repeating certain roads and do the whole entire thing in 45 minutes on a bike. And there was basically one major quote unquote road that we saw one car the entire time we were there. Otherwise it was golf carts. So it was just a very, very small place, very quaint. I finished 2 books. She read an entire book. And we just spent a lot of time reading, a lot of time on the water. I swam a lot because I'm doing the swimming thing. So I did a lot of swimming. And we did one planned activity, which was snorkeling. So we went on a day trip for snorkeling. And other than that, it was just walking around, hanging out. And it was so relaxing.
Yeah, that's what I like.
Yeah. And then we ended up going to another area because we didn't know any better. We actually didn't want to go there.
Wait, are you telling me the story about your trip? Or are we going?
I am, but I'm going to tell you everything. So we finished our trip. We ended up going to Guatemala briefly for a day because we thought, why not? It was only 20 minutes away. And then we came back. And anyway, when we got home, it was one of the very first times that I got home and I didn't need a vacation from my vacation.
Yeah.
I mean, I really did feel relaxed.
Yeah.
I felt really good.
Right.
And Patty and I already said, like, if there was a place we would go again, we'd go there because it was just, and we wouldn't go to the other place where we went to Guatemala, although we did like that. We would just stay in that key.
So it's really interesting that you say that because I'm thinking about the places that we've been and I'm just the whole thing that you were talking about, like taking the bike and all that kind of stuff. That's the stuff I truly enjoy. When I did go surprise Kylie on the ship and went to Bermuda, I actually had to like walk around by myself because she was sick. And so, but I loved it because it was kind of reminding me of what you're saying. Like it was just so quaint. There wasn't a lot of cars. There was people on bikes, a lot of people walking. And I think that was one of the best days. You know, I mean, you talk about all the hoopla and all this stuff and seeing different sites and all that stuff, but I loved that.
Yeah.
I loved that. And then even in New York, the day that before I got on the ship, I just sat at a little coffee place on the corner with coffee by myself, people watching, and just, I mean, I had time to go see something in New York. I mean, I'd already been to New York, but same thing. Being there, I just enjoyed living the life that the people were living there.
Right. Not just doing all the touristy.
Yeah. I mean, we did go see 9/11 and all that stuff, but I remember Kylie at one point goes, we didn't even go to see the Statue of Liberty. I'm like, I've seen it on a postcard. I'm fine. You know what I mean? Like I mean, there were certain things I did want to see. I did want to see 9/11, but other than that, I just had fun living in the hustle and bustle of the lifestyle there. But I did come home tired. I did come home, needed a vacation day from a vacation, you know?
Right.
So I get what you're saying.
The thing that's interesting is that what I wanted to do is because of the fact that we had this experience and I came back a little bit different than I've come back. Now, I don't regret any of the vacations I've had in the past. I don't mean to imply that they weren't good. It's just that they were different than this one. And I experienced something different. And I would still do the other kind of vacation as well. What I decided to do for Wholehearted Living today was to talk about what are the benefits of having a vacation, though. Because see, a lot of people think, well, I don't need one. I love my job. I love this. I do this. And the thing that's interesting is, so I just did a little research on what are the benefits of a vacation. So I'm not going to read every little detail of it. I'll read some things, but it says rest and recovery. So I guess this depends on what kind, but even as long as you're not doing what you normally do, then you're going to experience something different, which is going to get you out of your headspace that you're currently in. So changing that, it changes your relationships with people. That was one thing that I thought was really interesting. Assuming you're going on vacation with loved ones, then you're going to experience a different strength and bond. I think I mentioned this on a podcast one time, because one of the ways that you can have a cheap vacation, in case you're wondering, well, how can I afford to go on vacation? The idea isn't that this has to be expensive. I mean, yeah, Patty and I like to save up, figure out how we can go on an expensive vacation. We like that. But you don't have to. You definitely don't have to go on an expensive vacation. The idea is to get out of the routine, get out of what you're doing, and do something that's going to make it so that you are going to bond with your family members. And I remember reading something once where it said, families that hike together stay together. And I thought, what in the world does that mean? And what was interesting is that what they talked about was the fact that, because obviously not everybody hikes and not everybody camps, together. But what happens when you go camping is weird experiences happen when you camp, right? Somebody trips, somebody breaks something, this happens, you end up, and you have to figure out, how do I manage this thing in a very different situation than what's normal? And those are bonding experiences that change your relationship with the people that are around you. Yeah. And it's, and that can happen anywhere. It doesn't have to happen. Camping is interesting because it really does require everybody to participate at some level. But any kind of vacation where you're doing stuff and you're out of the norm is going to make people talk and experience things differently. Like somebody who maybe is normally not outgoing, all of a sudden is, or vice versa. They're like just chill. Right. But you experience people in a different setting, all of a sudden they are different.
And if you're going with the vacations that Peter and I have taken together, you experience it together, and it's like you said, it's like a bonding thing that you're experiencing together. Thing. I have done things by myself, and while I've enjoyed the things I've done by myself, like going to Bermuda, New York with Kylie, and I've done a couple trips like with different from Beauty Counter and stuff. I would be away for the weekend or whatever. Yeah, it was nice to get away and see where that part of the city was, but I didn't have that experience to experience it with someone. Yeah,
I used to have to travel quite a bit and without Patty, and it was hard, honestly. And it got to, what's funny is I like going to new places, but when I wasn't traveling with Patty, I would usually fly in just before whatever it was, and then I would fly out when it was done. Yeah. Because I just didn't want to stay. I actually I used to go to a meeting every year in Colorado, and I would show up. It was Monday through Friday, and I would leave early on Friday because of the flights, and so I would get there barely in time for it to start, and I'd leave when it ended. Right. The only time whenever I went to a brand new country, if there was a meeting somewhere, so I remember I had a meeting in Buenos Aires, and so I wanted to see that, and so I actually spent one day there. But honestly, it was weird because I got to experience it. I'm glad I went. I'm glad I got to see it. But it's kind of like, I don't feel like I really experienced it without Patty, because there's no one to share it with. Sure. When you don't share it with someone, it's not quite the same thing. Yeah. Now, granted, if you're single out there, it doesn't mean you have to be with somebody, because maybe that's the way you live and you're going to bond with people that are around you. But the point is that we need to, and it was work related, by the way, when I was going.
And that's, exactly.
So it's a different mindset. It's not a vacation.
My Bermuda, experience that day by myself out there, was totally different than going for a work-related thing. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
And I bonded with people that were there by the water. And
you don't have any responsibilities. You're not
Yeah.
thinking about the next thing.
Yeah.
I mean, other than getting back on the ship
Yeah.
and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But some of the things that I researched to say, what does it do? It gives you rest and recovery. It enhances your relationship. It changes your perspective and creativity, which was interesting what you said about going to other cultures. I think that's one of the benefits from going away to other cultures, but that does cost money and requires time, etc. But it is interesting because most people who live in the same area, that's their perspective on everything. And when all of a sudden you live in a different place, you realize, oh my goodness, people do live, in fact, very differently.
Right.
But you could even do that in our own country because there's people that
Yeah.
live in differently in different parts of the country. Statistics say it actually improves your health. It lowers your blood pressure, improves your sleep. It helps you with mental health benefits, happy and fulfillment, productivity boost when you come back because all of a sudden you're refreshed and renewed and you're a different person. And it's an opportunity, they say, for self-discovery.
Well, I definitely feel like that when I get even even like, winter break, 2 weeks off work.
Yeah.
I feel mentally charged to come back in and work. But it's funny that you said breaking your schedule, it helps, blah, blah. I actually live the first 2 weeks that I'm on my summer break, I'm almost in a limbo land. I still wake up at 4:30 in the morning. I'm still at the gym at 6, but then I come home and I don't have to get ready to go to work. And I'm actually kind of like, ooh, I feel uneasy.
Yeah.
I feel like I don't know. And then I enjoy a lot part of the middle of the summer. And then a week or two before school starts, as much as I'm like, I'm kind of bummed that, work is starting. I'm almost ready for the schedule again. I'm almost ready for that, So.
Well, it's just like when we grew up as kids, right? I don't know how you were, but I never looked forward, quote unquote, to school. And then on the other hand, you do get bored.
Yeah.
You get to a point where it's like, okay, when are we going to start up again?
Yeah.
But my big thing about this conversation, which we don't have to go forever, was just simply the fact that I don't think that people recognize the benefit of taking a break. Like genuinely taking a break. The Bible talks about, having a Sabbath day. No one nowadays considers Sunday. Well, I shouldn't say no one. That's not true. But the way our culture is currently, you can't just simply say Sunday's a Sabbath day. And for that matter, I was a pastor for 100 years and it was not a
You were
Sabbath
definitely
day.
working a lot more. Yeah.
Yeah. We had 6 services. So, I mean, it was like the weekends were horrible. But so it's not about that though, but there is something about the fact that we need a break.
Yeah.
You can't function. Everybody has to sleep. Why do we have to sleep? God really did not have to make us to sleep, right? Couldn't he have just said, you don't need keep to sleep. Going? Yeah. Why do we? But there's something about the restorative value of rest. And so we do that daily because we sleep. And then hopefully you're taking one day off. Although I have clients that don't, and they're paying for it. Emotionally, they're paying for it with other people, physically, in every way, shape, and form.
I can imagine.
And then I'm going to go one step further and say, well, there are a lot of you that are working 5, maybe 6 days a week occasionally because of your career. And then you're not taking vacation, though. And you required to take certain breaks or whatever. I think of Sheldon from whatever, he didn't like from Big Bang Theory. Yeah. It's like, no, they don't want to, he doesn't want to take a vacation and he doesn't think he needs to. That's a TV show. But the thing is, there is a restorative value to making sure that you are, in fact, changing the dynamic. And so you could do a stay-at-home vacation. It has nothing to do with money. It doesn't necessarily have to do with moving, but it does have something to do with changing the routine and being intentional about rest.
I agree. And like I said, I guess I'm not really a big traveler, but Peter and I do like going to Las Vegas, not because we like to gamble, but because it is just a change of scenery. It's a change of pace. We're not crazy. Well, we used to be crazy there. Don't get me wrong. But now it's more like, let's lay out by the pool. Let's go find a place to eat. Let's walk the strip and we go to the mall there. You know what I mean? It's just, it is nice to just break up the monotony of what your daily life is,
Well, and we do our Big Bear thing.
Yeah, and that's
a unique type of vacation because it's brief, number one, and then number two, it's there's a lot of us together. But it is another way to break. And so I think people underestimate the value of it. And sometimes we just think, well, if I can't afford it, or I'm going to do this, or I'm going to do that, or whatever, it's like we still need that time. We need to be able to get that refreshing. And I just know for me, it was incredibly valuable to go. Literally I came back just energized. I just felt a lot better.
It's so funny because I remember before we went to Europe, and I don't even mean like right before, I mean years before, when Peter would talk about like, oh, I would love to go to Italy. I would like to go. And like, what would you like to do there? What would you like to see? All I ever imagined when I went there is sitting at a little corner cafe, drinking some coffee and just watching people. Like that was what I envisioned when we went.
Right.
I mean, not when we went, when we thought about ever going. But that, I guess that's just, I don't know why. I'm just not one of those people that, I know I know you guys went to Ireland. I know Peter would love to go experience Ireland. I would like to go because I know how much he would like to experience it. But if we never went, I'm okay. I don't care if I go. You know what I mean? But
yeah, I don't even know where we're going to. Actually, I think we decided this time. I mean, one day we're going to go to the Philippines. That's our big thing because Iggy's going to tour us around the Philippines. So you guys go there. Yeah. So that's our next.
But I think I would like to honestly plan something like you just did. Like for me, I don't know about Peter, how he would feel about that. But if we did plan a trip to go somewhere, I think it would be so cool to just be a very, very, just get away, peaceful.
Gosh.
Chill.
We actually said if we did it again, we'd go to the same place and we would just stay there the whole time. And just because it can actually, I guess it could get boring if you're bored. But I will say both Patty and I came home, we're reading more. Like we don't even turn on the TV. We just sit next to each other and we read and we'll talk, and then we can stop and just talk. And then maybe the last half hour, 45 minutes of the day, we'll put on a show. But for the most part, we just enjoyed it. And it changed like a little bit of the way we think and the way we do stuff. And it's like, it's just been very nice and so the fact that a vacation can not just change during that time, but it actually changed a little bit about our normal behavior, and it's been kind of refreshing. Yeah. So, but once you guys leave, though, we're going to put the TV on. Anyway,
well, it's Friday night after all.
I know.
You got to live it up.
That's right. So, and it's Peter's birthday. So, oh wait, we can't have Peter's birthday. That was last week.
You can't have it 2 weeks in a row.
Anyway.
Oh, and by the way.
Okay.
Not to break the stride here, but.
Stride.
Ain't nothing gonna break my stride. Ain't nothing gonna slow me down. Oh no, I know, slow me down. Peter just sent this to me while you were discussing your.
Peter who?
Semantical. Relating to or meaning semantics. The arising from differences in the meaning of words or symbols.
Are you saying it's an actual word?
Yes.
Oh my God, I've never heard it before.
So I digress.
Actually, you return.
I return. Let me look up the word digress. I'm just kidding.
So semantical is a word.
So yeah, let's.
I mean, I knew what you meant because I knew what semantics are.
Right.
But
and as soon as I said it, I thought, oh, it makes sense. And then like a second later, I was like, wait, is that even a word? But
yeah, I've never heard it or read it. So good for you.
Yay.
You win.
I know. All right. Well, that was good. Yeah. So I agree with the vacation mindset.
Yeah, because I didn't even go into some of the other benefits of it. But I thought.
Say a few.
No, it's okay. I highlighted 99% of them. But the biggest thing is that you can go and Google probably all of these things. But the biggest point is the fact that you might just be thinking, well, I don't need it or whatever. And the truth of the matter is that if you took it, all of a sudden you recognize more of the benefits. And unfortunately, our culture doesn't really permit it in the sense of like in Europe, you get a job, you start off with 4 weeks vacation.
Yeah.
No one has.
Right.
Well, for us, it's usually starts at 2, and then after X amount of years, you get 3 and whatever.
Very much, yeah. And so, if I'm not mistaken, they even like have a mandatory break in the day of 2 hours to like.
Well, it probably depends on the country, but no, not everybody says like that. But
it's somewhere in Europe, because I just remember them like there's like a mandatory break in the day for a couple hours to.
It wouldn't surprise me if that was Spain, but even then, restaurants are still open, right, for 2 hours.
Right.
But the thing is that the biggest point is, I remember saying to someone once. Something about he said, oh, well, we're here for 4 weeks. Because when I was in Ecuador and they were traveling, and I was like, we're here for 4 weeks. I go, 4 weeks? How'd you get off vacation? And they go, oh, I'm not even using all my vacation. I mean, for 4 weeks. Yeah. And so it's just very common. If you're traveling around and you meet other people, you will almost always find a European who's traveling for 2 or 3 months. It's just like what they do. Now, they can't do that every single year, but they do travel. Whether or not they travel is irrelevant. They do have significant breaks.
Time off.
Significant time off. And so it's just it's a mindset that we have that I have to be producing.
Oh, 100%.
And when we're not, then we're messing up. And the truth is that when we can get a break, we actually produce more.
Yeah. So. And and I don't know where everybody is listening from. All of our listeners are listening from, but it also depends on where you live in our country, in the United States. Cause I mean, I feel like California and New York, like you said, the mindset is go, go, go. Never have a day off. You feel guilty if you're resting. Well,
farmers are the same way. Farmers never stop working too.
Well, that's true too.
Yeah.
But there's also a slower culture with smaller communities, or you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's like,
that's true.
This is so fast paced, and you almost feel guilty if you're taking a break.
Yeah, it's true. Well, people say, there's a phrase here that doesn't exist nearly anywhere else in the world, which is time is money.
Right.
And we make time really a commodity. So we have wasting time.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Right.
So we use phrases like that, which all relate to money. And so for us, when you think of a vacation, well, that's a waste of time, because I'm not producing. And the truth of the matter is, it's not a waste. It actually will help you produce more when you're done. Yeah.
And you know what? Going on the whole thing that you were talking about, money, you may not be able to afford a vacation, or, I know that just for Peter and I, if we go down and take a walk at the beach, how different I feel coming back. Just being in the fresh air, seeing a different scenery, just
Well, and that's the thing is, like, if you take a week off of work where you're intentionally taking it off, but then you're saying to yourself, okay, you know what we're going to do? We're going to go to the beach this day. We're going to go to the park this day.
Yeah.
We're going to go do this.
Yeah,
but
like
you're changing the routine.
Yeah.
It's not going to be very much a vacation if all you do is sit in your house and you watch Netflix.
Sure.
So that's just weird day.
No, I agree.
Trying to get something where you're doing something different, you're breaking the routine, and you're actually hopefully resting.
Yep.
So. Yeah, there you go.
I like it.
That's my thing.
All right. I like it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. Bye.
Ciao. Wow. Now we got to talk. Thank you, Iggy, for keeping us in sound. Don't follow us at Wholehearted Living at Wholehearted_living_podcast on Instagram, and follow us on YouTube, subscribe, etc.
Etc.
So
all right. So don't forget, semantical is a word.
That's what you're going to leave with today, folks.
Yeah. Okay, you guys. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Ciao.